Writer's block. How many times have you said, I have writer's block. I feel like a blocked writer. Everybody says that. I'm wondering, is it really as blocky as you think it is? When you work from the imaginative storm point of view, right from the imaginative storm, which takes you to the creative form, writer's block ceases to be such a problem. Why? Well, when you have your dreams at night, do you say, I have dream block? Do you say, my imagination is blocked? We do say we have writer's block, but we don't say, my dreams are blocked, or I have an imaginative block. And the reason why is because the imagination is never blocked. And the dreams happen whether you ask them to or not. You may not remember your dreams. You can trust those dreams are going on inside your head. And you know your imagination is active because the last time you were delighted by something, that was your imagination at work. Your imagination is never blocked. So why would we say we have writer's block? A couple of reasons. One, we're trying to get it right. We're trying to live up to something. We are trying to do something very important so that we can change the world, rather than just simply showing up, generating your story, making your playfulness on the page or with whatever you're doing, and letting your imagination have fun. So when you work from the imaginative storm point of view and you goof around, you play in the sandbox, you play in the field, you run through the fields. I once had someone say, if you really want to have a child grow up and be a very healthy child, just let the poor thing grow like a weed. And I like the idea of growing like a weed because the weed isn't thinking it's a weed. The weed is very happy to do what it does in the environment that it's in. So when you allow yourself to let your imagination flourish in the environment that you're in your creative environment, maybe the subject of writer's block will be there, and maybe you will feel it, and maybe you will feel blocked. I promise you, when you let your playful imaginative process engage, that big block will start to shrink. It'll become smaller and smaller. It will seem less and less significant. Might even become amusing. What was that about? And a second way to allow the imaginative storm process to loosen up all those blocks, when you just do the work, do it over and over, you time it, you do it 10 minutes, you do it quickly, you throw it on the page, your imagination doesn't have time to waste with all of these little blocky things that are going on. Some people call it the internal critic. So when you're doing the imaginative storm work and your internal critic sees you just happily jumping around, having a great fun, and generating material later down the line in form that will really work, when your little internal critic sees that, I call my internal critic Little Jimmy. He lives on the liver, and he talks in a very high voice like this, and sometimes he wants to be he wants to direct the block, so block go there, right? Little Jimmy on my liver. But when Little Jimmy encounters that fanciful, lively, imaginative, unencumbered approach to generating written work and other creative work, Little Jimmy is just not quite sure what to do with it. What happens? Little Jimmy notices, I'm a little left out. And Little Jimmy wants to be included. So that's how you start to train Little Jimmy to be your creative advocate. So there is a relationship between reducing the blocks and having creative advocacy around you, including your internal critic, which we'll talk about more later. But for now, just allow yourself to appreciate the playfulness of all these things. And that's how your blocks will shrink and they will lose their potency. And maybe they will reemerge as something you can draw strength from.